Hey everybody, it's Brandon with RPG Overviews, and I'm going to be taking a look at Adventure Anthology 1 for Old School Essentials. They've put out 2 of these, and I just wanted to show you the Old School Essentials Classic Fantasy Rules Tome, how easy that is to have both these together like that. I just really like the easy portability of these, and they just really look nice together. And so yeah, we're going to be taking a look at this, the Adventure Anthology 1. As you can see, here's the spine, here's the back. 4 short adventures for Old School Essentials, taking adventures from disease-ridden sewers and bejeweled vaults to sinister temples and the deep void of space. So you've got the Jeweler Sanctum, level 1 through 3, Curse of the Maggot God, 2 through 3, and the Sunbathers, level 3, and then the Comet that Time Forgot, levels 9 plus. So, here we go. Of course, I'll be spoiling this, so don't watch this if you might play it. I will have a link in the description if you want to pick up the PDF, or if you want to go over to Exalted Funeral's website and pick up and order the actual physical copy, which will come with a PDF of it as well. So, we've got the first 2 adventures. Their maps are on right here in the front, and then the last 2 are here on the back. Very easy, of course, to keep your hand there and to flip to, and that's what Old School Essentials is really one of the things it's really known for, is just really easy, layout, so you can start running the adventure almost immediately, stuff that's really going to help you with a lot of bold words. And we're going to start with the Jeweler Sanctum here. I really like the maps. And when I'm reading this, I flip back and forth and I look at these maps all the time. I want to make sure that what's going on in my brain and what I'm kind of envisioning is also represented in the map, and they've done a great job with these. Now, the 4th adventure is, I'll be talking about, it's a little bit more abstract, a little bit different. But with these other 3, they've got really great maps. Glenn Seal did the maps on these, and they're just great. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. The Jeweler's Sanctum. It's going to give you a little bit of an introduction, telling you a little bit about each one of the adventures. And the art, I've got to say, overall is just absolutely fantastic. There's something that I really, really enjoy, and I will show it to you in this book that I like that they've done, some of the pieces in here in particular, and I wish that other people would do the same. So the Jeweler's Sanctum is going to be a thing where you're hired out by the grandson of the renowned jeweler magician Draxus. So the guy that hires you out, his name's Jessam, and he's hearing a bunch of sounds from his grandfather's sealed laboratory below the old family mansion, scratching, squeaking, stuff like that. And so he posted a notice. It says adventurers are wanted. You need to go into the laboratory and clear out the dangers. He doesn't have much money. The family's fortune has been depleted, but he says he will give you anything that you find treasure related, and he believes there's still piles of gold ingots and precious stones. So it seems fairly okay, but there, of course, are going to be deadly traps and magical guardians placed to deter thieves. Which a thief just 3 days ago, a dwarf adventurer named Auric, he ventured inside, and about an hour later he screamed and he did not emerge. So, it tells you here that if you're starting a new campaign, if they're strangers, maybe they all, of course, saw the notice and they agreed to. So it's a good way to get players together, is just with that notice. And that's a fairly easy thing to do. So we've got the map again right here, which I like how they repeat the map. But if you need to just quickly flip back, there it is, if you're maybe looking at here. So it's going to break down the denizens of the area. So what we've got is the Figment of Jorana. And that's going to be another thief during Draxus' lifetime who was killed by his pet Tarantella. Now, if you don't know where a Tarantella is, it is in essence a large tarantula that makes you dance. So she is turned into a spectral figment of her last moments, and it haunts the halls. And it's going to explain about the manifestation of her. And I will go ahead, since we're talking about her, we're going to go ahead and show you there's a piece of art of her right there, as she will go through the walls and kind of spook the place, and maybe give your players a little bit of like, what the heck's with this lady here? But it's going to explain a little bit, what's going on with her. She'll kind of scream and stuff as if wounded. And they can't really interact with her, but it's pretty neat. So you've also got Morlin, a former apprentice of Draxus. He was a greedy, treacherous man. He tried to loot the laboratory after his master's death, but he got caught in one of the traps, so you'll interact with him. And then you've got the Tarantella. That spider's magically bound to a certain area. And then you've got a bunch of giant rats and centipedes. So, of course, like Old School Essential stuff, I really like how they break down the general notes, what's the construction like, and what's the lighting of the place. And then we're going to go into our descriptions. And I'll be flipping back like that to show you certain things of the map. We're going to start right here. It's going to start with the cellar. And again, we've got those great bold words that really help you explain the main features of a room. And should something be needed to be brought out even more, then it'll break it out here with a bullet point. So Jessam's got the key. You're going to have this long corridor here. It's got some different checker marked floor. And this is one of the first pieces of art that I really enjoy what they did here. And it's going to continue on throughout, especially the first 2 adventures, especially the second. The second one actually really did it well. I really like the fact that you get to see exactly what this adventure is seeing in this hallway. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy. And I'll show you more pieces like that, obviously. But I just really like the fact that I want to see adventurers interacting with the place so that I can get a mental, visual of way that the players' characters are going to do whenever you run it. So I just think that's really helpful. So this is a trap right here. This first thing is going to be a little bit of a checkered blade trap. There's electrocution trap. There's a gas trap. And so they're all right there, these 3 things. There is a way they do give you a hint on some archways. But yeah, it's very good. Of course, we've got like our little, blocked out areas here for giant rats. There's going to be a lot of stuff to search, of course, and some pretty cool things that you can pick up magical-wise. In one of these cages here in this room 8. So we're back over here. We're looking here. There's going to be a cage room. We've come through this hallway. And this is where we're going to find Moreland. He has been trapped into a mirror. You can do some cool role-playing here with him. You can free him out. He doesn't have any spells memorized. He does have a jade medallion. That's important to some degree. And one thing I like is this thing where it says like knowledge. The iron statues in area 17 attack unless shown his medallion. So if you can get the medallion, those statues will not attack you. So I really like that. I really like stuff like that, like knowledge. What does he know? And so just very quick, easy information so that you could run this very quickly and easily. So we've got a ruined alchemical lab. We've got a neat rat queen, Skix the rat queen. She lounges in dusty sofas. She has gotten a ring on her that has made her. It's a ring of imbecility, but it actually gave her more intelligence than she normally has. So it's funny because it's a way for you to be able to give animals a way to speak, and they'll be smarter when they have an intelligence of 3. So she now has an intelligence that is of 3. And it makes her smarter than a normal rat. So she actually is it's just interesting to think that there's this rat that is 4 foot long rat, and she accidentally slipped this ring on her wrist, and now she's ambitious. She wants food and jewelry and potions. She wants to read and learn. It's just a neat little NPC monster that you can fight. She does have some knowledge as well. It's going to tell you about, she knows about killer bubbles in the pool in area 11. The singing spider can't leave area 14. That's that tarantella. And don't touch the golden dust in area 9. So, yeah, very cool. And of course, you could probably kill her, maybe get the ring, and then you're going to make yourself stupid if you put it on. So there are some molds and oozes. Those are always really nasty. There's a pool where that dwarven thief, I think that's where I don't believe they say his name here, but it says that there's a dwarf down there. And that's probably where he met his fate, is with this pool. And that's going to be a number 11 right here. As you traverse this pool, you're going to face some gray oozes. Again, there's some neat magical items. There's a study. And here we've got the Hairy Guardian here, which is going to have that tarantella. There are some silver statues in here as well. There's one thing that's neat is in this room, the magic suppressing circle, there's actually some defective rings that he made. And it's funny because you're more likely the characters, your PCs are going to be like, oh, sweet rings, let's put these on. And then they're going to, of course, have bad luck or bad armor class. Very funny. It's going to be fun because they're going to be like, well, I think these are magical, and then they're going to be cursed. So, of course, you'll need to have some magic to remove that curse. But you have the Hairy Guardian here. It makes people dance, and with some, if you fail your saving throws. And that's pretty interesting there. You do have inside the northmost pit here, where number 14, there's 3 pits. You've got the body of Joranda, and she can be put to rest by burying her remains in a proper tomb. And it says, characters who do so dream of spending a night at a tavern with the cheerful Joranda, who buys them all drinks and teaches them a sleight of hand trick. Dex permanently increases by 1. That's fantastic. of course, to get your stats up. You're going to have this jewelry workshop here. There's going to be a lot of stuff that help you make magical items, so that's interesting if you want to use that. Gem cutting workshop, and then the enchantment workshop, which will be protected by those living iron statues. It says a voice booms from the two statues when you enter the room. Show us the seal of approval. If you don't have that medallion, they will attack you. And then it says here, if you completed it, what's going to happen? You'll be contacted by him in a couple days. He'll give you an old tome of Drax's seal, and it's written in a language he doesn't understand. And it may contain a treasure map, spells, or clues to another adventure. So I like that. And then here we've got a great piece of art showing you the living statues attacking. And this is what I really enjoy about these adventures here, is that they show you exactly what is going on. Like, here's an adventurer being killed by those great oozes. Here, this is the way she looks as she goes across. And it's only going to get better with the second adventure. But I really enjoy this piece of art here, showing you the room, showing you where the living statues are, and they're attacking. So I don't want to just see them standing there. You know, that's the thing, is I want to see stuff in action. And that's what these adventures do really well. Mostly. Curse of the Maggot God is a very cool one. This one's by Glenn Seal. It's a level 2 to 3 sewer adventure. There are some sewer men, the Guild of Sewer Men. They're missing a lost worker, and they will pay 200 gold pieces for his return, dead or alive. So you're going to have this sewer system here, and then you have this villa chambers here. And what's happened is the sewer men discovered an ancient chamber revealed by a tunnel collapse because there's been a bunch of rain in the area. Hal went inside, even though they say, hey, don't do that. And he had some terrified screams were heard, and the rest of the sewer men took flight. So it's kind of a little bit like the first one where someone went in and then, they screamed and now they're gone. The sewer men refused to return, and the guild now seeks the aid of adventurers. So they're going to hire you. So in truth, the malign piece Malarian and his troglodyte henchmen have fed him to their Maggot God, an enormous bloated maggot residing in deeper caverns right here, number 19. They dwell in the mosaic-lined chambers beyond the collapse, the cellars of a long-demolished villa. They venerate a god of rot and decay and believe the abhorrent maggot creature to be an incarnation of their blasphemous deity. So it's a little bit of a nasty adventure. I really like that. I really like stuff that's really kind of nasty and just gritty. Again, great map, laid out the way that they do it with the random happenings. It splits up between the sewers and the villa chambers. It really doesn't tell you exactly which, I guess it just in through here would be the sewers area. And I don't know how much time you're actually going to spend there. But most of your time is going to be investigating the villa chambers. So here we go. We've got, it's going to tell you more about this Malarian the Unwashed, tell you a bit about the Maggot God, the troglodyte maggot cultists who are led by a chief whose name is Mucklatuck, and he is responsible for guarding and feeding the Maggot God. He believes he is the Maggot God's favorite and secretly plots to usurp Malarian. Now, that's one of the things that is all throughout all four of these adventures, that there is multiple things going on, multiple small little things that you can use to enhance your game or not, or expand and make it a bigger part of your adventure. And they're all wrapped up, much like the way this first adventure is. It's all wrapped up the way that the Figment of Joranda is, or the way that Morlin is trapped. It's the same throughout all these adventures, and that's one of the things I really enjoy, is that it's little tiny things that are really well done and tight together, and they have a conclusion to them. So again, our general notes, the construction, the lighting. There's some drag marks where they've taken people to sacrifice them to their Maggot God. There's a cool little piece of art here of Malarian. And then we go here, the area descriptions. And this is where it really excels on the art here. This is neat. So this very first area here, the sewer entrance, which is going to be right here, number 1. We see PCs interacting with the lever that you need to open up this gate right here. That's really cool. I really like the fact that it shows the adventurers interacting with their environment. So you're going to be going through these tunnels. You can get through here. There's a secret door here where you can go up here, and that's where he was grabbed with that collapse. Again, the map is fantastic. Glenn Seal does a great job. I really enjoy this artist. This art is really fantastic in this adventure. So you're going to have troglodytes that you're going to fight every once in a while. They're going to be there. They're nasty. They've got like maggots in their mouth. They have a nauseating stench. Of course, we know all about them. There's going to be, like right here, you're going to have this cool big statue, the alabaster statue here, and Magic Mouth telling you pretty much to turn back or you'll be cursed. So I just like it. It's very active in its art. And so, like right here, we've got this this pool room, and I'm gonna kind of skip around. I want to do each room. We got to keep going and make this video not too long. So, look, these adventurers are checking out this pool room. You can see they're reaching down, and there is, if you search the central pool, there's a secret panel, which it's got some money, a leather pouch with money. So it's neat. I like the fact that it's showing adventurers actually searching the room. You're going to have like his private chambers and his library, a prayer hall. You may have him there. He's got a neat wand. He's got a pet carcass crawler. You'll find the sleeping chamber. There is a troglodyte that's been grabbed by this black widow here. So she's going to be a nasty foe to fight. Then you're going to finally get down to where, when you get down here, and again, the map is perfect. The maps sync up perfectly with their descriptions. Again, you'd think it would be something that's not too hard to mess up, but a lot of adventurers do that. Just disconnect between the artist and whoever wrote it. But this all syncs up really well. You can even see these bloody drag marks. They say that they don't go in the pool 8, room 8 here, because this pool room, because of course there's going to be a lot of liquid on the ground. And you're not going to be able to see those drag marks. But sure enough, you can see the drag marks take you all the way to this huge maggot. You're going to have Mukulatuk's cave as well. You're going to find the body, unfortunately, of Hal, the remains of him in the Maggot God's cave. And you'll fight the Maggot God, of course, very nasty, could possibly swallow you whole, so that's going to be detrimental to you. And then when it dies, it explodes on all its body, ruptures, spewing forth its thick, creamy innards in a torrent, which is pretty funny and very cinematic as you fight this huge maggot. So that's the second adventure, and I honestly, I really, this adventure I think is just really cool. It's nasty, it's dirty, it's got a cool maggot at the end, and while I like all 4 of these adventures, this is one that just kind of stood out to me, just because I just think it's got a cool, nasty vibe to it. So here we've got the Sunbathers, and it's got some interesting names for some places here, but Foss Imerus, it's going to be, you're going to have a little bit of a, like an overview map here. And there's going to be a couple ways that the adventure party are going to come to it. And what's going to happen is, this was once a famous place of healing. But now unfortunately it's been taken over by this cult. And I want to say it's Lethe or Leith, a goddess of oblivion, quietly co-opted the temple. It used to be for healing. They rededicated its purpose to healing humankind of its painful burden of memory through monstrous transformative means. Visitors to the island find themselves unwitting patients, prisoners bound by ignorance and pleasure, incapable of leaving. So there's going to be a couple ways for you to get there. Maybe there's a missing hero you're trying to find, your hired agents, or your unintentional guests. Maybe your ship has wrecked there and you end up on this island. Now, there's the North Beach, the main beach. There is the Golden Escapilion, I think that's how it's called. There's tunnels to Area 11, and you've got ruins and Olive Grove. Now, one thing I'll say is that there is no description of ruins or Olive Grove that I could find in this. That could be something you could expand on your own. And it's kind of a little bit of the theme of how this keeps going up. It gets higher in level, and how if you're running this, you may have to do a little bit more work on your own, other than just reading it straight from the event. But you don't have to do anything with the Olive Grove or the ruins. But it's just there in case I think you want to try to do something more with it. So again, denizens of the place, you're going to have patients. A lot of them are travelers or shipwrecked wrecked sailors. They're there unwillingly. They're dressed in gray robes. Their minds have been pretty much emptied by this stuff that they're drinking here. As you can see, you've got physicians. They're white-frocked cultists. And they're obviously part of this whole thing, this whole cult. And they make the people drink the stuff. You've got the Sunbathers out here. Now, this is all being under control by the Oracle Sebestia. I think her name is, white-haired and pale blue eyes. She walks around, and she's obviously kind of the boss lady of the place. She uses spells to bind and blind people. And even when broken and bloodied, she sighs, "I don't see how this is helping. Is this truly the oblivion you seek?" You've got nannies, which are in essence harpies. They're disguised as orderlies. They're hunched in oversized cloaks. They serve as her muscle. Now, and then you've got these things called purified ones. These are cured humans, bathed in the tears of Lethe. I'm going to say Lethe. Blind, mindless, twitching, human-shaped organisms without orifices who smash their bodies into anything that vibrates. Very interesting description there. There's also lions. They're, in essence, the mascots of the cultists. They walk around, and they're going to be guard animals and pretty tough foes for you to fight as well. And there's a little thing here that explains to you, should battle break out, what exactly is going to happen. directing the harpies to attack the party, warning other staff about the encounter. I like that, the fact that should it hit the fan, what exactly is going to happen. So then we've got our general notes, terrain, dock ships, and then we're going to have exterior area descriptions. Now, this is where it's going to continue to do this throughout the rest of these adventures, where you're not going to really get a whole bunch of maps. That would really balloon up the page count for their tight little page, because I think it's 60, let's see what we got here, 63 pages of actual content. Maybe you include these two if you want, 65. So it really ballooned it up to a much bigger book, and that's where you may have to go out and kind of outsource maps if you want to really start to be real technical with this. I think it's, a lot of theater of the mind stuff is where you're going to want to need to go. So stats for the patients, physicians, and nannies. There's rumors here, the main beach and North Beach. Nothing too much crazy there. Then you got the golden Asclepian, I think is the way it's called. I'm probably butchering that. My apologies. So we do have a temple interior map. A lot of the adventure obviously is going to be in the temple. And again, fantastic map. Once again, there's going to be a lot of interesting places in here, some traps, some stuff to find. Here I like how the adventurers are walking into the temple, and you've got these harpies that are going to be the nannies in essence, watching. General construction, the lighting. There's entrances and exits. Now this is because there's different ways you can go about that. Get inside different areas. Maybe there's a open window, an unlocked grating in a tower roof. There is a skylight in the dome. So some really neat ways to get into the place. It's going to make every time you run this, maybe there's a different way that the players are going to want to get inside this place. There are some interesting NPCs that have information. Again, that knowledge is very helpful. And I like the fact that they have some stuff like, there's a little tiny, like small mini adventures in there, little quests, like this guy wants his hat. So stuff like that you can do to enhance the game. But you're going to have stuff like, your entrance, your main sanctuary. There's a musician there and a nursery. There's going to be bunks. And here we've got a really cool piece of art here. This is a huge statue that cries, and they collect the tears, and the tears are what the people are drinking to kind of mess up their mind, the nectar of Leth or Lethe. If you bathe in it, it's going to turn you into one of the purified ones. So I like that piece of art right there. So this is a place where you could maybe possibly kind of like sneak around and act like you're under the influence of this nectar, but you're not. So in order to find out exactly what's going on, there are some cool NPCs that you can interact with. This guy here, he has got a really neat way to get off this place, which is this rudder. And I'll even try to say the name of his ship, but it's pretty much a magical rudder that transforms into a ship so you can get off this place. So that's a way that you can possibly exit it. That's his name right there. Kalostratos, I think his name is. He was once a famous wrestler. So there's going to be some stuff in here that you may come across. It may provoke lions. You may have to, have a moment where you have to kind of drink the nectar, or prove your kind of loyalty, or prove that you're underneath this nectar type stuff. This is the biggest adventure that's in here. It's got the most ways to kind of maybe get around it. It's not so cookie cutter. In the way that it works. The last adventure also was like that, but it's a hex crawl, so it's a little bit different in that sense. You've got this neat, harpy nests. So a lot of harpies here. There's going to be a lot of good treasure in this adventure. There's some cool crypts. So you're going to have that with a lot of the purified ones. I like how they give you a picture of what the purified ones look like. So that's good. And then we're going to end here towards the end. There she is with her lion pet and this purification's final form in this vaulted mausoleum. It says that it's a 12-foot diameter skin-slick orb of moistened patchwork sunburnt flesh that hovers about a foot off the ground. And the purified ones struggle to mush their way into the orb and join all the others of which it is composed. I think it's very neat. It reminds me of a Castlevania boss, in which there's a whole bunch of people that look kind of like this, and I don't know if that was an inspiration from it or what, but you can destroy the orb. All the physicians flee the beach. Every purified one dies, and hopefully the nannies also will flee as well. So you can really save this place, in essence. Get rid of her, kill her lion, destroy this big ball, and while these, of course, the purified ones are going to try to attack you. So overall, it's a very neat, a little bit different type of adventure here, as you are going to be able to go interact with some NPCs. It's not so, cookie cutter. Other than here, we've got a traditional kind of dungeon crawl in this temple. You still are going to have some moments of where you could have some subterfuge, exploring, and again, just a really neat adventure. They're going to come to the Comet that time forgot. Now, this is a 9+ hex crawl adventure, and I would just say across the board, this is just completely different than those 3 other adventures. This is an adventure that needs a game master that is willing to either put more time into it to expand it, or is okay with just jumping from kind of area to area. So what we've got is somehow the party has come through a magical gate, and they have ended up here number 1 on this hex crawl. You've got these 3 different areas, blue, green, and red, pretty much like glacial, and then kind of wilderness, jungle, and then you've got this volcanic area here. And this is literally a comet in space. It's part, and it tells you some history of it. It's streaking through the void. It is the pretty much the remnant of a planet stricken by a catastrophe, and its desperate inhabitants magically forged a precarious lifeboat, which is this comet. So right off the bat, it's just a really neat kind of background story for it. And this is thousands of years have passed, and the gate's true function that you went through is now long and forgotten. But there is a bunch of faction infighting on this comet, and that's what it's all kind of about. So we've got cool hexes here. They're going to explain to you like how many encounters 2 and 6. You get lost 2 and 6 in the forest, like this right here, this symbol here, the forest. And it says 50% slower for glacier. So it's going to let you know how difficult it is to traverse through those areas. You may get lost. So this is always enjoy a cool hex crawl. This is very helpful. 1 hex is 6 miles. So even though some stuff is going to slow you down, you can get through this fairly quickly. It could be a thing where this is a timer too, where maybe something's going to happen. You've got to get to 12, which is the end of it. You've got to get the key that opens the gate back up again. And so you're going to have to maybe put it on a timer, and that could be something that you want to do or not. It's kind of optional. So you're going to roll for weather. So it could be maybe clear skies or light snow, or maybe here in the blue zone, snow squall. It's going to half your speed. And I would assume that if it's already half speed and it says half speed again, then maybe you're only going 25% of the speed in that hex. Encounters for each one of the different zones here could be like in the blue zone, the frost area, maybe frost salamanders or cave bears. The green, it could be pit vipers, lizard men, maybe a water elemental or triceratops. So there are some cool dinosaurs in there if you want to take it to them. The red zone's got stuff like fire giants and giant rattlers, hellhounds. Again, different type of weather for each of the different zones. And it's going to tell you each about the different zones right here, the Serpent River, and then the Blood Sun that is what gives illumination to the comet. Breaking down all the denizens in there, such as the Neanderthals, is going to show you which hexes they're in, so that's cool. Now, I can't really break down because we'll be here for a while. So what you're going to have is, you're going to have Neanderthals, white dragons, white apes, lizard men, bird folk, this huge dragon turtle, flame salamanders, red dragons, and fire giants. All of these people here, all these creatures and denizens of this place are all kind of intermixed in their own schemes. And I'll explain that kind of as I go here. So here's a cool depiction of the gate. You can see the key hole right there. It explains to you, if you want to use it as a countdown, how a sandbox hex crawl works, fleshing out layers. Now that's one of the things. There's not going to be, other than the very last fortress of the fire giants, there's not going to be any maps for any of these places. And this is where you may need to go outside and find that and from different sources if you need it. Maybe you can come up with it on the fly. So it does at 9+ level adventure. It's going to expect you to be able to come up with this stuff on the fly or have already prepared for it. So you're going to have like the Neanderthal city right here. And it's going to have a bunch of inhabitants and stuff like that. Now, one thing I really like here, it says quest and quest. So save the princess. They kidnapped the leader of the Neanderthals, her daughter, demanding that they have fealty in exchange for her return. He's going to offer 10,000 gold pieces. It's a ton of gold in here, especially as 9+ level. Or you can clean the necropolis. A pair of white dragons have taken residence in the Neanderthals' holy necropolis. So it's cool that it shows you what quests you can do. And one thing that's neat is, like with her, Save the Princess is going to take you to them, to the fire giants. And then the fire giants might have something that takes you over here. Or maybe the white ape village, they need something. They have a lost leader, one who knows. He's been captured by the lizard men. The villagers beg the PCs to help in rescuing him. the sacred water. A lot of this is like, go get this, go help. We've got these MacGuffins here, but they really work out really well because they're going to help you kind of interact and choose kind of what side in these factions you want to align yourself with. And I just think that's really cool. So we've got stuff like here, like these big tigers here, these big lions trying to attack you. So with this piece of art here, again, huge treasure hoard. Of course, now granted, you'll be fighting white dragons, so it makes sense. But I just really like the way that it jumps around. The white apes are actually pretty helpful to you. You've got the green zone here with all these lizard men. Again, Quest, the rival lizard men, are jealous of Maximus the Unrivaled. The green dragon, they believe, inhabits the woods in Hex 7. Unknown to them, it's just Maximus is actually the bird folk. They're able to kind of make themselves kind of look like a dragon so that their shadow looks like a dragon. They can make a noise like a dragon. They're kind of just, they're trying to fool these lizard men. It says they may be willing to trade one who knows for proof of the creature's defeat and half its horde. So if you don't go in there just killing the lizard men, or trying to, granted there's 50 of them, but you are maybe 9 plus levels, you may be able to take them on. But, that's the thing is you get to the place, you can either kill them or maybe they'll be like, hey, we'll help you if you go do this. We don't like these guys. They've taken this from us, return this to us. And so I really like that kind of hopscotch type of way that this is laid out. Here's the Azure Lagoon here. They'll have some different encounters there. Again, some cool art there. The green zone is going to be, of course, where the giant bird nests are, where the bird folk are. And again, they've got their quest, Eye of the Founder. If visitors treat with the bird folk, they learned that long ago, a party of bird folk bearing the sacred Eye of the Founder, a crystal ball, were ambushed and eaten at the Sundered Sea by the dragon turtle. So now he's in possession of the eye. They will offer feathers of levitation in exchange for its return. So you go there. Hopefully you will fight him, this big giant turtle that is almost like an island to itself. Huge amounts of treasure and the Eye of the Founder sought by the bird folk. So it just keeps doing that. And I just think that's a really neat way to go about this adventure. Then in the red zone, the Flame Salamander Kingdom here, they've got a request, return the idol. Queen Slesh wishes to recover the Salamander's holy ruby idol, stolen by the Salamander's rival, the Fire Giants. Fire Giants are overall turds in this adventure. She offers the aid of Skis the Archer in this quest, and promises a reward of 14,000 gold pieces. And he's pretty much a really great shot right there. You're going to have the lava flats you're going to have to try to traverse, and then you're going to go to the lair of the red dragons. That's in number 11. They've got these, it says dozens of ruined pyramids. That's where the young red dragon's going to be. 2 of them. They've got a huge horde. And so I just like the way that it kind of, these were escape pets of the fire giants. So it's going to kind of just help you move along with whatever you're trying to do. So then you're going to come to the volcano fortress of the fire giants here. So this is, we do have a map of this. This is where Uther, who is Lord Uther, takes over. He's over the fire giants. There's going to be hellhounds there. Pretty nasty. One thing that you're going to find out is that anybody that you interact with, or you before you just try to kill them, they don't like him. They want to try to get rid of him as well. So there is some cool, maybe backstabbing, treacherous stuff you can do to try to get rid of him with their help. And that's throughout the place. So I do like that type of that mentality there. This guy here, he creates all their weapons. He is a Azure dwarf named Asmodai, and he also toils, depressed, and aloof. He wants nothing more than to escape. So there is a way to use these people against Lord Uther. And Lord Uther, of course, is going to be a huge fire giant. He has got a huge warhammer. He is depicted here on the front. There's the prison tower. It's got Princess Callisto. She's the one that is the Neanderthal princess that you need to try to help rescue for the Neanderthals. So again, I think you can see back and forward how this adventure works. He's got the key to unlocking the space and time gate. So it's very cool. I really dig it a lot. At first, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, I don't know about this, but I really enjoy hex crawls. I've done stuff like that before. I did one that was all kind of based on like Jason the Argonauts and Sinbad. And it's just really fun to go from hex to hex. But you will need to kind of expand this out if you need to. It could be something that maybe you're not comfortable with, and you may need to go try to find other maps because you're not going to have a whole bunch of them, or kind of just play this loose and quick and get to where you need to go. Decide on which factions you want to try to help. Finish those quests. Go back. Of course, if you do have it as a countdown, there's a timer going. You're gonna have to really decide what you need to do. And stick with it. But if you don't, you can just kind of travel this place, interact with all these NPCs, pick your sides, go fight the other guys, get the item or free the person that you need, take it back, get that reward, and so on. So I think it's a really neat adventure. I really dig the way that the map looks and really everything about it. I just think that's really cool and kind of breaking the mold of these other 3 adventures. So there it is, Old School Essentials Official Adventure Scenario Adventure Anthology 1. I think it's a knock out of the park. I think it's really good. I like it's 15. No, this one's 20. This one's $20. You're talking about $5 an adventure. You get a hardback book. It's just really good. And they're good adventures with good art. Get you up and going very quick. It's got that great Old School Essentials layout. Some really fantastic art here. I really dig. Again, do more of this. If anybody's watching this and they want to make adventures, do more of stuff where it shows the actual characters interacting with stuff like that right there. Searching the place. That's genius. I really enjoy that a lot. So keep that up. That's what I really get out of it, is just fun, quick adventures. This one could be much larger, this third one, the Sunbathers, and just different overall than the first 2, which are typical dungeon crawls. But overall, they're all, I think, really solid adventures. I really dig this format they got here with this anthology. I hope they'll do more. I will be doing a video on anthology number 2 very soon, and so look forward to making that for you. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and sticking with me all these years. I hope you enjoyed these videos. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments. I love communicating with you down there in the comments, trying to answer your questions, or just saying, hey, thanks for commenting, thanks for watching the video. It really means a lot to me. So there it is. I hope this has been informative to you. Go pick this up if you need some quick adventures, and who doesn't? I like the different levels of them too. Everything from the first 2, which can be from lower levels, all the way up to a 9+ adventure. I think that's really helpful to have those. And they didn't do a thing where they're all low level. Now that would have been cool to some degree, but then you're gonna have some people that they're not gonna need it after a while. And this you can still use, down the road as the party gets up in levels. So there it is, Adventure Anthology 1. Thanks.